What's the chatter, everyone? My name's Corman590, and we are back today with the UPA once again. Yes, I am back in. The wait is over. I'm finally coming here to confirm that I will be spending another season in the league, and that I am going to do my best to see how well I can do again this season. Now, everything's still work in progress on the screen. I'm still trying to name some things, but as of now, I got the whole team set up right here, and I'm going to go over it. This is going to be my draft analysis. Everyone else in the league, I believe, has already made a draft analysis, but this is my custom analysis, and I'm going to go over why I drafted everything. Now, later, I'm going to have to cover some mistakes, because there were some mistakes in the draft, and I'm going to... There was one Pokemon drafted that shouldn't have been drafted, so ignore the 3 out of... I don't know what it says up there. 3 out of 3 franchise used FAs to use. I've actually already used one already, since there already was a mess up. So just ignore that if you do see it. Yeah, there it is right there. So just ignore that. I actually have 2 out of 3 because I used one to fix a mistake that was happening during the draft. There was a Spirit Tomb drafted to where a Dual Blade should have been, but I'll cover that later. So anyway, yep, we are entering yet again as the Canton City Chatots. That is our team name, representing the awesome city I come from and all that stuff. And we also have my favorite Pokemon name in there. And if you didn't already know it, the letters for the full entire name is CCC. I kind of like how that was cool. I was like, maybe this was destined to happen. Nah, not really. So yeah. That's what everyone in the league calls me, Corman, or I'm, as you guys know me, Corman590, but everyone just calls me Corman. You can also call me Chatot if you want to, I really don't care. So without further ado, I'm going to hop into the team. So my first A-rank pick was Talonflame. Talonflame, it stood out to me. I actually had Heatran as my first A-rank pick, but if you guys were watching round 1, that got like sniped for me. I'm like, oh no, this is gonna be a very bad draft. It actually went really well. I got sniped like 3 different times, but I still managed to pull out with a good loadout. But my first A-rank pick was Talonflame. My B-rank pick was Chatot. C-rank pick was Shuckle. He's a returning vet. Hitmontop was another C-rank pick. D-rank pick was Slacking, E-rank was Mawile, and my Mega was, Mega Sableye. my 5 free picks were Milotic, Zygarde, Whimsicott, Doublade, and Kadabra. And I already told you where Doublade was. There was a Spirit Tomb. Like I said, there was a miscommunication during the draft. So I'm going to go into why I got every single one of these. For Talonflame, I needed a really good priority fire type, or just a good fire type in general, because I wanted to get a fire, water, grass core, as Heatran was on that. So since Heatran got taken, I'm like, okay, I need the next best fire type in A rank. And I almost made a mistake and chose Ninetales, which would have not fit this team at all. So everyone in the chat who was there, thank you for preventing me from making a mistake. They told me to just pick up Talonflame. It would fit the team pretty well, since I already have a bird spamish core, as you can see there, with Chatot. So, yeah. And we'll go over Chatot last, because I feel like it's the best for last. Next up, Shuckle. If you guys don't remember what Shuckle did last season, in week 7, came in, won the game out of just pure bulk and stall. It also sets up hazards pretty successfully, and it can heal itself just as well with rest, and it has the contrary shell smash, which is really dirty if you go up against it. Like, I went up against it before, and my friend just walled me out with it more times than I can count, just by setting one freaking shell smash up. So there's a problem with that. Another thing I like about Shuckle is the fact that he can be supportive too with Chatot. Like, if you guys seen Corman's picks, Sticky Web and into Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock eliminates Focus Sash, and Sticky Web slows them down, making Chatot just run over them with Boom Burst and Nasty Plot. And there's also a new set with Chatot that I cannot wait to use. I actually hope it puts in work in some of these battles. But if it doesn't, it's good. It's okay. Now for the next pick, which was Hitmontop as my next C rank, Hitmontop was there because I need something to spin away hazards since everyone said I was weak to hazards last season. Well, Hitmontop can intimidate and he can come in with priority spam. He has Mach Punch, Fake Out, I almost said Dark Punch. He has Sucker Punch. He has all the elemental punches. He just loves to punch things, even though he likes to spin on his head a lot, and he looks like he really kick people more than punch them. So I don't know what's going on there. And wait, no. In the older games, he's spinning on his head. In the newer games, he's standing on his feet, isn't he? Yeah, he is. In the older games, he was spinning on his head, so that's just me having a brain fart. Anyway, he was there because I wanted a good spinner and someone who could be offensive at the same time. Plus, I really needed to pick up a good fighting type, and most of them were already getting like picked. So I'm like, okay, I need a really good spinner and fighting type. So I chose Hitmontop. Hitmontop was really good, and yeah, that's just my thoughts on him. Now, Slacking. Oh, yes. I wanted this guy during mid-season of the UPA. So I said, you know what? I've already shown that Chatot can put in work. It's time for another Pokemon that has really low praise. It's time for it to shine. Slacking. If you guys remember my early Coremans picks, Slacking has the stats of every legendary and Hoenn, with one bad ability, Truant. Truant makes it to where you basically aren't going to move on that one turn or every other turn. So basically, people are gonna, I'm gonna come in and I'm going to set up on you. I'll cover that in a minute on why that might be a bad idea on this team. And then you have the people who are like, oh, well, I can just protect stall it. Actually, in league formats, I think Slacking is going to do A-okay since you can switch up his movesets and you can teach him Fint and all that if something wants to protect stall you. But even then, Fint is a good move. But let's face it, Slacking is forcing people to run Protect. And that's actually really good in my case. Now, up next is... just ignore these nicknames. Mawile. Mawile was actually looking really promising because I needed a good Fairy type and a good Steel type to keep a core going with Mega Sableye, as you see right below it. So I had Mawile. Mawile can intimidate, can have sheer force, Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, and can baton pass, Swords Dance, and Stockpile at the same time. Intimidate makes it even more bulky than it already is with the... How much health does it have? It has over 100 health, I believe, with like 88 in the defense. It's not too bad if you run Intimidate, but if you're going to run offensive, you probably want to run it with like a Sash or something if you want to get like a sweepage going with, what is it, Swords Dance, Sucker Punch. I believe it can also, anything can use Substitute, I believe. So it can also run Sub, Setup, eat some status maybe, and then throw it back, because it has like really high attack power. 120 base attack, I believe. So for an E rank, that is not bad at all. I have yet to use some of the Pokemon on this list. Like, I rarely use Talonflame, rarely use Hitmontop, I rarely use Mawile. Now, Mega Sableye, I use him a lot, and he's going to be the next Pokemon we go over. Mega Sableye. Oh man, how much do people hate this Pokemon? It comes in, it wins just because nothing can touch it after it sets up, and then Calm Minds, Will-O-Wisps, recovers, and then basically OHKOs everything with Dark Pulse, or in this case Snarl, if you're afraid of people trying to set up special attack in that case. Mega Sableye is a very dirty Pokemon, almost as dirty as Chatot. Reason because, like I said before, he sits there and he doesn't die. Now, the only problem with... Actually, there's two problems with Mega Sableye. His weakness to fairies, and that he is absolute crit fodder. The reason I say this is because the amount of turns he's out in the battle, and he can just get hit by crits. Critical hits have been a huge factor last season in the UPA, if you don't remember that. But other than that, it was just pure... I don't even know how to describe last season. It's really weird. So other than that, he's crit fodder and he's really weak to fairies. But that's why I got Mawile in the same thing. So because Mawile, it can handle It can handle fairy types just as well as... Wait, I don't think Mawile can handle fairy types really well. Especially the ones who want to run, like, Flamethrower or something like that. But anyway, off of that, Mega Sableye, he was my mega pick. He was going to do really good, and I hope he actually does well as he does in the cartridge versions. A lot of the Pokemon that I ran in the cartridge versions and that I brought over to the UPA actually did really good. Chatot, 14 kills at the end of the season. Shuckle, I'd never used him, but he got like 2 kills off of stall, and that weren't even hack space at all. If I remember correctly, he actually got frozen that match. Like, it was hacks up the alley. I managed to just pull out a win with the thing. So up next, we have Milotic. I've used Milotic a bit. I really like it because of what it can do and how good it is. I also like it because it counters one of my most hated Pokemon, and that is Landorus Therian. The reason I say Milotic counters Landorus Therian is because of how bulky Milotic is in the first place, and one of Milotic's abilities, Competitive. If you don't know what Intimidate does, Intimidate makes it to where you have to, it lowers the attack. And then Milotic has the competitive ability. I think I just said Milotic has Intimidate. Nah, Milotic has the competitive ability. And Landorus Therian has the Intimidate ability. If you send Landorus Therian in on Milotic, Milotic gets +2 in special attack right there. And it's already bulky as it is. And it gets Recover, so you're dealing with something that rarely will go away over the long run in the battle, and you're dealing with something that can deal a lot of special attack. I believe, I don't remember who said it during the draft, but somebody said that Milotic was basically a more offensive version of Suicune, which is actually really scary. The only difference between Milotic and Suicune is that Milotic cannot learn Calm Mind. I believe if Milotic learned Calm Mind, it would be pretty busted. Yeah. Now, Zygarde. I gotta give credits to my one of my friends right here because I had to leave to one of my sister's basketball games. But thank you to Hasty Swampert for managing to get at least everything on the list I gave him, minus Drapion. Who else was on there? I can't remember who else was on the list, but Drapion was a huge factor, and he managed to make up for it. And he chose Zygarde. Now, Zygarde is good because I need a really good dragon type. Unfortunately, Zygarde really doesn't get that many dragon moves. He gets Dragon Tail, and I think he gets Dragon Rush. But the problem with Dragon Rush is it just misses too much. It's like 70 base accuracy. It also gets Outrage, but that's not really good too if you're running like something. And like everyone at this point in the league has a fairy type. Like, every team has a fairy type. I could go over all the teams right now. And at least one fairy type is on the teams. So, Zygarde, he can Coil to become more defensive and offensive. He can Dragon Dance to become a sweeper. And he can Glare to slow things down. He is very versatile in this format. And I've never used him because I don't really like using legendaries that much. But since he was a B rank, I really wonder why he's a legendary. But I'm pretty sure there's a reason. I haven't come up with a nickname for him yet. I'm pretty sure I will later in the future. So yeah, that's Zygarde. He has a really versatile moveset. Really powerful too with those legendary stats. The only problem with him, like I said before, is his shallow offensive move pool. Like, he has nothing to hit anything hard besides Outrage and Dragon Tail. Unless Zygarde's already slow, and you can do things like that. Also, I'd like to mention I have a lot of hazard stack on this team. Like, if you see right here, you got, I think Mawile can set Stealth Rocks, Shuckle can set Stealth Rocks, Kadabra can set up, like, Trick Room and all that. Whimsicott can set up, like, Leech Seed. Yeah, I have a lot of hazard. That's going to be really annoying to deal with. I just feel like this team has no synergy, which is why it isn't my most favorite team. But it's definitely a really powerful team if you look at it from the strong point. Alright, now back to why I drafted everything. This is the second time I went off topic. Up next for my free three, God, was Whimsicott. Now, If you already haven't seen the annoyance of this team, Chatot, Mega Sableye, Milotic, Whimsicott just adds another layer of annoyance onto this team. Whimsicott, it comes in. Oh, you want to set up? Okay, that's nice. Encore, guess what? You're stuck setting up because now I'm going to Leech Seed and Calm Mind spam you until you can't move. This also fits the Firewater Grass core I have going. Talonflame, Milotic, and Whimsicott. They all have dual typings except for Milotic, and it works really well. Milotic can handle Whimsicott's weakness to fire, steel, all the things that want to hurt Whimsicott basically. Talonflame, even though it's not really that bulky, it can just come in. You can sacrifice it by Brave Bird spamming, as we all know what Talonflame can do. There's also the substitute Swords Dance set, which actually might come in handy against some of my opponents this week or in the later weeks, since they want to like set up hazards and stack on me if they really want to. But other than that, it really all comes down to what Whimsicott wants to do. If Whimsicott wants to be that annoying little Pokemon that won't die and substitutes and Leech Seed stalls everyone, it will come to that. If it wants to be the Pokemon that has the priority, Calm Mind, and get more bulky as time goes, it can do that. May I remind you how scary Will-O-Wisp Mega Sableye with Whimsicott is? The opponent's attack gets halved, and then Whimsicott can come in and Calm Mind. This team is set up the alley. Like, it just comes in, nothing dies. Mega Sableye can Will-O-Wisp, and then you have Mawile with Intimidate. Here's where I'm starting to find the pivots in the synergy, and I might cover that later. But other than that, I can see why Whimsicott can fit this team. It is really well on the annoying standpoint. But other than that, it just fits the Firewater Grass core I have going. Now next up, this is where the screw up happened. My friend Hasty Swamper, even though he did a good job, he had a derp and he chose Spiritomb for some reason. I think he one pick got sniped there. That was probably where I wanted Drapion. So one pick got sniped, and he basically went, okay, I'll take Spiritomb. Oh wait, no, that's not what I meant to say, but they already had it in. And the rule for the draft is if they already put it in, you can't take it back. So I don't blame him. I would probably have made the same mistake and drafted something stupid. Like, come on, guys, I was drafting Ninetales for my A rank picks, so there's no shame in that. No shame in that. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to find something that fits the team since Spiritomb does like garbage. Since I already have another Dark Ghost type that already does Spiritomb's job a lot better. Even though Spiritomb's good on his own right, I might make a Corman's picks on him later. But other than that, Dual Blade, he fit really well because I needed next to Mawile just another Steel type. So Mawile's Steel Fairy, Dual Blade is Steel Ghost. Now, this might seem a little weird, but it actually is really good. Mawile can Baton Pass, and it can come in and Intimidate. Dual Blade can come in, Baton Pass, and not take a hit, because its defenses are trash. Mawile and Dual Blade, I feel like they do the exact same jobs, but Mawile is a Fairy type, so I could kind of say that, and Dual Blade is the Ghost type of the team. So, even though it might seem weird, I can kind of understand it. If I need to drop him later because it's not doing so well, I will. But Dual Blade, he can Swords Dance, and he has all that power. Mawile is going to be if I want to bring an Intimidator with Mega Sableye and like lower somebody's attack to where Mawile can come in and like set up in their face and take hits. But other than that, Dual Blade is more of the instant offensive if I want to come in, predict their switch, Swords Dance up, and then destroy everything with Dual Blade. Other than that, I don't really know what Dual Blade can do. Maybe you guys can like tell me down in the comment section below. Last pick was my favorite, one of my favorite from the drafts, and that is Kadabra. Another E rank. Now, Kadabra, oh yeah. Kadabra is good because he can do two things. He can be supportive and he can be offensive. The reason I say he can be supportive is because, have you noticed a theme with this team? Besides, besides Talonflame, and Whimsicott, everything on this team is slow. I mean, let's look here. Zygarde, Mega Sableye, Mawile, slacking, 100 base speed. It's not what it used to be if we're going up against fast targets. But I needed a good Trick Roomer. Kadabra, you can run Focus Sash with Trick Room. Now, he does become useless after that if you really want to. But you can run Kadabra, you can hit something hard, take a hit with a Focus Sash, and then right before you die, send out a Trick Room. Now something that's slow can come in on one of this team and set up. Example, Mawile. Mawile is not really fast. I almost called it a she again because Mystery Dungeon. Crap. Mawile comes in, she sets up a Swords Dance, and sweeps from there. Or at least until Trick Room goes away. That is why I wanted Kadabra. It basically can help this team with its slow capabilities. Mega Sableye, you bring him in, he's slow as crap. You get that Prankster first turn, and then you get another turn. Yeah, you'll see where I'm going with later in the future. But other than that, yeah, that's about it. So I'm still in the process of making nicknames. As always, shoutouts to the ape. Oh, wait a second. I didn't go over my franchise pick. Yes, Chatot. Oh, how nasty Chatot is. End of Season 3. Ending statistic, if I remember correctly. If one of you guys from the last season could check this and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But Chatot ended with 14 kills, 7 crits, and I believe 10 out of every confusion it hit, I think it went 10 for 16 on confusion hits. That is disgusting. Chatot can come in, Nasty Plot up, Boom Burst, one shot. And since it has Shuckle with it this season, Nasty Plot, Boom Burst, Sticky Web, Stealth Rock. Now, Chatot is good because it has that hacks reliancy, and it has one of the strongest normal type moves in the game. That might be the only thing it has going for it. But recently, I figured out a strategy that is even... This is coming from my mouth, a person who's revolutionized the confusion Focus Sash strategy, found something more dangerous and more dirty than Chatter, Nasty Plot, Heat Wave, Boom Burst, and what was the last move? Chatter or Boom? I can't remember. I probably already said everything. What if I told you I found something more dirty than that this season? What is it, you may ask? Well, that's a question you're going to have to wait and see, because I really don't want to spoil it, because I don't want to give it away right here, because that might help one of my opponents prep for me. Anyway, guys, that's about it. Hopefully I went into more depth. If you have any questions on why I drafted any of these Pokemon below, go ahead and ask. As always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out, guys.